G'day everyone, my name's Mick, I'm the Senior Curator of the National Motor Museum, and here we are, we're just out the back of the museum's workshop, and this beautiful vehicle here is a 1935 Hudson Special. It's also known as the McIntyre Special. So, as I said, built in 1935, it was built for a chap called Gus McIntyre, who I think was a wealthy cinema owner in Sydney, and bodied for him by a coach builder called Olding and Sons, I think in Parramatta. So Mr. McIntyre loved racing. He imported this Hudson, which was a popular brand of the time, and he had it rebodied and tuned to compete in sporting events. And the main reason it was built was to compete in a Trans-African rally, which was set to take place in 1935 or 36. But unfortunately, it never happened because Italy had the bright idea of invading Abyssinia, and that put the end to that. It did, however, compete in lots of prominent races. One of the first ones was the 1936 Australian Grand Prix. It was the 1936 Centenary Grand Prix held in South Australia on the Port Elliot to Victor Harbour circuit. But it was later renamed the 1937 Australian Grand Prix. Once again, I'm not entirely sure why. So let's have a nice look at the Hudson. We'll have a look under the bonnet in a second, but it's an 8-cylinder, which is why it's called Hudson 8. You can see those beautiful hubcaps on it. And take a look inside. It's really quite a nice looking car. Beautiful dashboard. This was one of the first vehicles in Australia to ever hit 100 miles per hour. Now that might not sound like much nowadays. I've got a 1.4 cylinder little European car that can hit 160 kilometers an hour, which is more or less what that is very, very easily. But in 1935, that was a feat. And let me tell you, if you're going 100 mile an hour in this thing, you will feel it. Beautiful boat tail body, not boat tail, sorry, fastback body. The guards would have probably been taken off while the vehicle was racing, and there's a lot of good footage and pictures of the car when it was racing in the 30s, where it does look a little bit different because it doesn't have the guards on it. But yeah, let's go take a look under the bonnet. I've enlisted some help. This is Nigel, our mechanic. Hey Nigel.
Hi, Mick, how are you?
Good. Now let's have a look under here. What do we got? Talk us through it.
Flat straight 8, double cubbies. Looks like fairly interestingly tuned exhaust system to generate a bit more power. Apart from that, not an awful lot that will stand out, and probably not very exciting for a lot of newer generation of people, but for the older boys to see old technology, and especially in something like this that'll do 100 mile an hour, will probably get them quite excited. So
the car wasn't fully perfect when we got it, was it?
no, she had a few dramas with it. She was running a little bit off song, so she had a bit of a misfire, which she still has a little bit every now and then. The brakes were pulling dramatically over to one side, so we've had a look at those, and we need to do a little bit more research with the brakes to make sure that they comply, that if we want to be able to use it in a beta bird with. So we've still got a few other little bits and bobs to do. She's not charging as well as what she should do as well, so she tends to drain the battery when we use her for a little bit too long. So
Shall we take it for a drive?
apart from that, she's a beautiful machine. So,
Reckon we can hop in, take it for a spin?
I reckon we must do that and take her for a little bit of a drive around.
Let's go. So here we go. It's a beautiful dashboard. I love the instruments. And here's a strange one. Well, you're using the gear lever at the minute. The gear lever was modified by the previous owner. It's actually it's an artificial hip. So I guess the previous owner had a bit of a sense of humour. He was quite an old gentleman. I hope that wasn't destined for him. So being a 8-cylinder, fairly big engine, you can feel the power is very smooth out of it. It does brake a lot nicer than when we originally received the car. I had a dicey moment in it myself. But the sound is just terrific. So there you have it, 1935 Hudson Special.
Real pleasure to drive.